What is up, guys? Mad Rambles episode 391 today, back here with another video. As always, in today's video I want to talk about why accepting change is good, because not only is change a sign of development, especially if you're going in the right place, if you're doing the right things in life and things are changing, then they're probably for the good, right? If you're cutting out bad habits, if you're starting to implement good habits, then your life is going to change, because the people that come into your life are going to change, the people that go into your life are going to change, and who you surround in your day-to-day life is going to change. And that is good. And not only is your surroundings going to change, but also your mind is going to change, how you perceive certain things in the real world. Because what you may have thought in some circumstances before, you don't always have to stick to those thoughts, right? People seem to think that just because you had a thought on something that happened 6, 7 years ago when you were 17, now you have to have it when you're 24. And in reality, that's just bullshit. And I'd counter that and say, if you constantly look at problems and especially where there is no definitive solution, there is no 2 + 2 = 4, and you're constantly thinking of the same conclusion and not seeing any nuances on it and seeing anything in a new light and sort of really having to think things through and challenge your viewpoint, well, then your viewpoint is meaningless because you obviously haven't challenged it. And if you're having the same thoughts about different topics for 10, 15 years straight, that shows that you haven't put any critical thought into it. You haven't examined any new information, right? Yes, cool, it could mean that you were always right to begin with, which is a possibility. But the likelihood, if you're like that for everything, no one's going to be 100% right every time. That's a fact, right? So if you stick on the same point 100% of the time that you may have had 5 or 10 years ago, well, then you know that the likelihood that any of those thoughts were really done with critical thinking, that were really analysed properly and developed, they're meaningless. Those thoughts are meaningless because you haven't developed them. You haven't developed as a person, right? You haven't seen the new world in a new light, and you haven't tried to see the world in a new light. So understand, change is okay. Embrace change. Changing your life, especially for the positive, is okay. And changing your mind, providing that you're not constantly flippy flopping, is okay, right? Especially if it's over time and it's on big important decisions. Because I'd rather be right and bite the bullet and say, cool, I was wrong, and do the right thing, rather than hold your pride and the whole place burns down, because that is cowardice. I've been Keelan, been a good call. Peace.